Yes, now I've gone live. And so yesterday where we left at the āhāra, the Kabalinka āhāra, which is the solid food. As a summary, what we had to see is the aspect what we see while eating, like what you saw during the post-mortem, that person had eaten biryani, right? So that is the name which has been kept. But what the person will always be eating is a name and a form. So he will first give a name. It's like a vegetable biryani, chicken biryani, mutton biryani, yeah, chapati, roti, sabzi and all that. So that creates excitement in the mind. Okay, because we are naming something while it is just a food. So what we forget is like the food is meant for one's own maintenance. One's own maintenance means that this life has to be sustained so that the next life we don't have to necessarily come to any existence. There comes Swati. Very good. Welcome, Swati. So basically the reason why we are eating is to sustain. So from the Ayurveda point of view, there are 7 dhatus. So starting from rasa, which is the plasma, rakta is the blood, mamsa is the flesh or muscle, fat or whatever that can be called as. Then we have medha. Then you have majja, asti, shukra. So ultimately this food what we eat, 90+% gets converted to a very refined food for reproduction. So both for the female as for the male. In the female, it is more about the fallopian tube and the ovaries. Basically, that gets properly nourished so that the egg is in a proper way. And the menstrual blood is the one which actually has all the energy which is required. So when the conception doesn't happen, the food what has been destroyed, meaning by the body, the eggs what are destroyed will come out. Similarly, in the male, the testicular region is where the sperms are developed, and hence if the person has an intercourse or he ejaculates or whatever it is, that much of energy is lost. So basically nature provides a way for the life to progress. So in a way it is good. But from a very spiritual angle, this is not good, because the food 90+% gets converted into the sensual excitement. The only 10% of it is retained for other organs. So using this 90%, what the body does is that when the person does not ejaculate or have much more sexual intercourse than what he or she is required, then that energy is used up by the body to build up or make the person healthy. And that's the reason in all the religions celibacy is recommended, because of the reason that the energy will be reused rather than misused or disused or whatever. So it just waits, it's a waste. So now how do I control it? So now the question comes, look, I'm not able to control my sensual urge. So there are 2 urges which comes. One is a sexual urge and one is the sensual urge. The sensual urge is coming from all the 5 senses. So when we see the food, we see the the plate arrangement, that's the first thing. So sight, then the sound it makes, like when it is boiling or when some food is being prepared, the smell of the food, and these three creates the taste. Even before the food is served, the taste buds starts to function. And touch, so we are very eager to touch the food. So as soon as the smell comes, the mind will say, oh, this is getting prepared. And that's the next topic we are going to go, called as phassa, which is contact. So we can actually see that when we desire, not knowing that this is meant only for sustenance of this body, and when we start relishing, raga enters, then dvesha is there, and the moha is there, because now we are used to that dish. So we have liking for a dish or a disliking for a dish. These are the two things which happens. So what Buddha recommends is that to cut that out, this samyojana, if you want to cut that out, then you need to practice like this. So there is a couple, they have only one child, and there is a flood which has happened, so they have to leave their village, and now they have to go on the desert. While walking on the desert, it's very hot, and they don't have anything to eat. They have not eaten for 2-3 days. Now they have only one choice, to kill somebody within the three and eat. So they both decide to kill each other, and then they find that the son will become orphan. So then they think that the son can be eaten, because then after we reach the village, we can still have a sexual intercourse and have a child. But if we don't survive, then the child becomes an orphan. So it is not good on our part to make the child orphan while we can have another child later. So that being the case, they cut open they kill him. How they kill him, that's not important. But they kill him, and then they start opening up his body to eat. So Buddha says that you need to think like that while eating. It's the most disgusting thing to do. And the sutta name is Putta Mamsa Sutta, but then it kills the passion. If properly practiced, it will remove the raga, dvesha, moha in the food. So what he says is that by looking at the desert is nothing but the various lives we have led and the various lives we are going to lead. And in the process, we have only one thing to do, is to eat and drink. So these are the two things. So another way to do is to observe what is a disease. There are only one disease, that is food and water. You can solve all the disease in the world, but you cannot solve food and water. It's a disease. It's an incurable disease. You might even cure cancer, but you cannot cure hunger, because that's a disease. Nothing can be done. You have to keep on eating every now and then. We have to keep on eating and drinking. It can be coffee or tea or water or whatever it is, but we have to keep on refueling the body. So with this Putta Mamsa Sutta, what he is trying to say is that why don't you then lead a life of having only one time food, so that you don't get into this craving for food, because it's only for maintenance. So because it brings in 5 kinds of lustful desires in sight, sound, taste, touch and smell. All the 5. Now the question comes when we look at the Uposatta Sutta, that many people will leave the meal and have only 1 square meal. Now the question comes, is that sufficient? And Buddha says no, that is not sufficient. There are other things that have been removed first than only the food. Meaning we cannot suppress it. The major problem is that we try suppressing our intake of food. Meaning we might forcefully say that I will not eat food for today. What do you think? I should not be eating. Okay, don't eat. Now, when we have such a tendency that I don't want to eat, the problem comes here is that it leads to vihimsa instead of ahimsa, because you're not supposed to do that. If you do that, you will be born in a very deprived environment in the next life, which is even more worse than what it is today. So we have to be very careful that it should not cause karma to appear, that is the deeds, bad deeds to appear. So that means no suppression of sexual thoughts, no suppression of karma or whatever. So when we look at the kama chanda or the hindrances, the first thing we need to notice is that you cannot suppress it. You have to accept it, not suppress it. Okay, so that is the thing. So otherwise it becomes violence against oneself, which is not allowed. So then he says, okay, now you are ready to drop off the food. Instead of 3 meals, you are coming into only 1 meal. Very good. Accepted. Nice. But have we ever thought what is the even more dangerous than this food? And he says it is contact. Contact is even more dangerous than just the physical food. Because physical food, you cannot feed more than what is required. You will vomit. Or the body becomes very heavy, you can't walk, you can't sit, you can't stand, you can't walk, you can't sleep, you can't do anything unless the food comes out or whatever it is, or you have to have some drug which will reduce the heaviness of the food, and then the person can sleep. So the phassa āhāra is even more dangerous than the kabalinka āhāra, that is the solid food. What is phassa? Phassa is contact. Now you have to see how contact happens. It's a very beautiful thing. You have 5 senses and 5 sense objects. Every time, every moment, there is a contact. Nothing I, you or anybody can do. There is a contact. There is something you'll see or something you'll hear, something you'll touch, something you'll smell, something you'll taste. Again you see, again you taste. That is a ongoing activity all the 365 days, 24/7. Nothing that can be done. And when it has a touch, it can have a very pleasurable sensation, because I like that likingness. Like the food I see, the food has still not come to my mouth, but that seeing itself will make me, wow, so nice. I was just watching a video, some of the photographs what my very close friend has sent. He has prepared Hyderabadi biryani, mutton biryani at his home. He has posted 25 pictures of that. Out of that, 3 are videos. Okay, he's so happy. And that is what karma is all about. It literally hits the person without making him aware that that person is going in a wrong direction. It literally hits him. So I was watching that photographs before I came online. So I was just thinking, he has very nice life. He has huge home. He goes around the world. He gets quite a decent salary. He's working for a very high profile organization, all coming out of his good come of the past. Now if we see what is he doing, he's literally utilizing it, meaning all the punya phala is going in the drain. It's not been used for a better purpose. So Buddha gives an example. This example is even more horrible than that first example. If that was really making us feel, oh my goodness, the second one is even more worse. So what you need to do is, you take a cow, strip its outer skin. Okay, you should not have any skin left. Or we can do it with ourselves. See, the outer skin, you have to remove it. Only the inner skin, the pinkish skin, what you get, that is only there. Now, once you find only the inner skin, you will get millions and millions of insects attacking you. This outer skin is safeguarding anything to come and eat, including bacteria can come and invade. In this, fungus can invade, so all can invade. It's only the outer skin which is making sure that it doesn't have any kind of problem. So now when this inner flesh is seen and it stands near the wall, now there are these food flies, the normal house fly, mosquitoes, and other kind of insects which are wanting to eat his body. So when they want to eat the body, so it will bite that cow endlessly. So then she will stand under a tree, and there the creatures will prick her and give abundance, pain and suffering. Then she moves to water, and there again she gets the same treatment. And finally she stands in open, and there again she is in agony. In fact, we can watch this happening with the dogs. We can watch this happening with cows, and we can look at pigs and all the animals. They keep on dusting themselves out using their tail, because these flies keep on invading them. And sometimes crow will start to eat, then some other insect and some other kind of worm and all that, they start to eat. Same thing happens with the human skin also. So you have these bed bugs, they eat. Then you have lice, and there are other small creatures which come and eat the skin, and that's the reason we get the skin allergy or rashes. Then you have fungus infection. So all of these is the consequence of food, because this body is being developed by the food, not by you. So the contact of five senses gives a pleasurable or a painful feeling, but ultimately it is something like it is touching on the skin, especially the inner skin, which is so tender, and the person will feel the pain immediately. So every touch is painful, but yet has a pleasure. So the poison has the poison dart has a very nice, what we can say, sugary coated. So initially that drug what is given doesn't seem to be poisonous, but sooner or later it turns poisonous. So all that we have in our life is really poisonous. So all the five senses are really poisonous, because they get connected with poison things, which is nothing but five sense objects. So unless we are sure about what we are doing, the life becomes extraordinary or extraordinarily agony oriented, which the person doesn't know why it has become like that. So what's the solution to this? The solution to this is that as he is eating, he has to see the Vedana, the feeling, what is he getting, whether it is Sukha Vedana or Dukkha Vedana or Asukha Dukkha Vedana, and try to have a neutral feeling. And then only this phassa, contact, can be cured. So a person who can identify this and understand the deeper essence of what is happening, unless he really investigates. So now when we enter into the second jhana, like what we were looking at, this is where that vihimsa, vyapada and the kamachanda comes. So now we can reflect upon the food and contact. The food what we eat and the contact with five senses. If we keep on observing it, it turns neutral. The food becomes neutral, the sight becomes neutral, the touch becomes neutral, the taste becomes neutral. So all the five senses becomes neutral. So when we have that, there is no other contact except for upekha, that is equanimity, which means we have implemented Indriya Bhavana Sutta. So when we implement Indriya Bhavana Sutta, we can now remove the hindrances of Kamachanda and Vyapada. And this Vihimsa also will go away. So it becomes renunciation, that is Nekkamma. Then Abhyapada, that means non-hatred, non-ill will, non-agitation, non-irritation, something like that. And Vihimsa, Avihimsa, that means non-violence. So this phassa āhāra is another important thing. Then he says, this is okay, but what about another one, which is even more deeper than this? So first we have to understand there are 4 layers of consciousness. The first layer of consciousness is the usual consciousness through which we identify things. So we literally identify things. Okay. So we really identify and we say that this is what it is because we have been told like that, or we have been informed in that way. So that means all that which we have learned from our young age till today comes under that consciousness, which is conscious. So I'm conscious of my name, I'm conscious of the place where I'm staying, I'm conscious of the country, and I'm conscious of the tradition. I'm conscious that I'm having a wife, I'm having a son, I'm having a home, I'm having a bank balance, and all of that comes under this conscious. Okay. And this mind consciousness is the working consciousness. It uses most of our energy. And it is part of that which judges and plan. And it also worries and analyzes. And it notes that there is a body. Okay. So this it has been seeing from the day one of its birth. And it has been tuned to believe that this is the consciousness with which you have to live. So it lives beautifully. And the second layer of consciousness is subconsciousness. What it really means is that there are some hidden things which is not conditioned. So when the real event happens, the anger or jealousy or pride or whatever it is, or some other things which the other person doesn't know comes out, and that is called as subconscious mind. And then the third consciousness is the unconscious mind, meaning this mind doesn't come out at all, but it keeps on storing images. This is the consciousness which is capable of showing up all the past lives. And also it is the mind which is capable of seeing everything. But unfortunately it is unconscious. When a person goes to sleep, the conscious mind is gone. The subconscious mind starts filling it with dreams, and the unconscious mind just comes alive. But the five senses are not there, so it cannot sense anything of the consciousness. So nobody can remember what they did in sleep. Beyond that is the fourth layer of consciousness, which is supreme consciousness, which is all knower, but that can never be experienced by anyone. So basically you are experiencing as you maximum two of the consciousness, that is the conditioned consciousness and the subconsciousness. The other two anyway we don't even know. Now when we come to the mano sanchetana āhāra, what we are talking is this manas, the mind, which becomes conscious of itself and starts to do something. Due to chetana, chetana is the intention, and mano is the mind. Sanchetana means with willful intention, and it creates food. So what's the example for this? He says, supposing there was a pit of glowing coal deeper than the man's height. Let's say a person is 6 feet tall. The coal, burning coal, is 9 feet tall. Filled with the glowing coals that neither flamed nor smoked. Okay. Then the person would come along and he doesn't want to live. He doesn't want to die, but he wants to live. And he wants to be happy, and he doesn't want pain. But unfortunately, two strong men grab him by the arms and drag towards the pit of the glowing coals. then the person's intentions or aim and wish would be to get as far as possible. That's what we keep on doing. We reject the bad experiences and we only want good experiences. This is what the Mano Sanchetana āhāra is all about. Whatever it likes, it wants to keep on reproducing, and whatever it doesn't like, it just wants to let it go. It doesn't want to keep it. But unfortunately, both are the same problem. You cannot have exclusive pleasure without pain, and you cannot have exclusive pain without pleasure. Like you see, when we eat, there is a pleasure, but there is a pain of stomach upset. When we see a particular thing, there is a pleasure of enjoying that, but there is a pain of losing it. When we hear, there is a pleasure of hearing, but then there is a pain of losing it. And when we hear painful thing, we expect pleasure. So this keeps on happening. So what we can see, this Mano Sanchetana āhāra is the one which is carrying the craving, tanha. It has kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. So it wants the sensual craving, the way it wants to enjoy. This is the part of the second noble truth. And then bhava tanha, to become something than what has been given. And vibhava tanha, to become something else than what is there. So I don't want that to happen. I want this only to happen. So when I see the tanha, craving, then only I can experience that there is no point in carrying this Mano Sanchetana āhāra. What I need to have is equanimity, upekha, not craving. Now, how did the craving happen? Because of the previous one, phassa, which was Vedana. So, Vedana pachaya tanha, tanha pachaya upadana, upadana pachaya bhava, bhava pachaya jati, like that. So, the paticca samutpada cycle or the dependent origination cycle continues unabated from there. So Buddha says that this is even more subtler than the Kabalinka āhāra, that is the solid, and the Phassa āhāra, which is the contact. Then finally, what is Vijnana āhāra? Vijnana āhāra is the Nama and Rupa, the name and forms what get created, like a father, son, mother, daughter, friend, husband, wife, neighbor, office, money, bank balance, then the comforts, table, chair, etc., 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 like that, all the names, wherein it is only 4 elements but named in different ways. So there are millions of them, millions, but all are four elements, and it's just not the name and the form which is the problem. It has a value. So this value creates sankhara. So when we call it as mental formation or preparation, or we call it as willful action, or whatever we want to name that as in English, what we are trying to do is to create a value system, a value chain. A dark skin is better than light skin, or a light skin is better than dark skin. A tall person is better than a short person, or a short person is better than a tall person, or a fat person is not good and a lean person is good. A fully muzzled person is good, or fully non-muzzled person is good. So this creates value. And when the value gets created, you become conscious of that value. And the mind starts to associate with that value. So now you experience that value. So let's say somebody is in America. Why did he settle down in America? Because it has highest value. And why would he not want to settle in India? Because it has lower value. How do we know? Well, you see, it has 3 times the size of India and 1/3 the size of population, and they have a lot of cars, a lot of comforts, big homes, a lot of money and all of that, and the rate of dollar is higher than the rate of Indian currency, and hence it is valuable. Well, isn't that the currency of India and the currency of US both are on paper and ink? Well, that is true, but Indian paper doesn't have that value. The American paper has that value. How do you explain that? Well, they have kept the gold. So the gold reserve is more of American currency, and then that's the reason they are the currency to be compared equivalent to gold, whereas the Indian currency doesn't have so much of money and hence cannot be considered. Now this kind of worldly thing which is created is called as loka. And when the loka gets created, it creates this value system. One is valuable than the other, and other is not that valuable than that other person. So like that we keep on associating it. And this association creates a burden. So what he says is that suppose there was a criminal who is not dead and he's been put in jail. So the king asks, what is he doing? He's still alive, sir. 1 second. Just a second. So he asks, how is that person doing? And the jail warden says that he's still alive. So why don't you hit him with 100 spear shots in the morning, another 100 in the afternoon, and another 100 in the evening till he dies completely. And so the jail warden does that, and the next day he's still alive. So the king asks, what is the status of this person? He's still alive. So why don't you now make it same, 100 in the morning, 100 in the afternoon, 100 in the evening? So that's the amount of pain we are carrying by doing this nama and rupa and attaching value to it. What is the difference between one college and another college? College A is more valuable than college B. What's the difference between Ayurveda and MBBS? Ayurveda has not that much of value in the market when compared to MBBS. What's the difference between a software engineer and an electronics engineer? Well, the software engineer makes more money than the electronic engineer. What's the difference between studying in IIT versus studying in a normal college? Studying in IIT, you will make more money. Studying in normal college, you might not make that much of money. So this is the Vijnana. So he says, well, if somebody were to remove the value itself and remove identification through his consciousness, Vijnana, which is nothing but that tip of the iceberg, which becomes conscious with name, wife and all that. But somebody can understand, fully comprehended, parinyate, then the mental and material phenomena, which is nama and rupa, is parinyata. That means is comprehended. With the comprehension of nama and rupa, the noble disciple has nothing, kinchi, natti kinchi. It has nothing more. Uttari, best thing to do, karaniyam, that is to carry out in this life, because he has seen what is called as the waking consciousness, what he is called as the subconsciousness. Both are like a mirage. Both are creating a magician way. But like, Nagpur or Bangalore or Mumbai or anything we have, you will never find it. It's just a name. And it seems to be fixed. But the people dying, people getting old, new people born, another person coming there, Bombay person going somewhere else, that person coming from somewhere else to Bombay, that Bombay remains fixed, or Mumbai remains fixed, Nagpur remains fixed, Bangalore remains fixed, similarly India remains fixed, America remains fixed, so all the countries remain fixed. And this fixing is the nama and rupa, as though you live forever. Because now when I wake up, Bangalore is there, India is there, Nagpur is there, Mumbai is there. If I am staying in America, Los Angeles is there, and San Francisco is there, and this is there, and that is there. All the 50 states are there. They have not gone anywhere because I have named it. So that they can't go anywhere. They're fixed. But this is the worst āhāra you can ever have. This is the food which will kill you in every life, because they don't exist. So when the person goes to sleep, that means the unconscious mind, all of that is removed. So there is no conscious mind and there is no subconscious mind. Everything is unconscious mind. At the time of death, the unconscious mind moves into another life, because the condition is now ripe. What is the condition? All the 4 āhāras are ready. So one can now enjoy the food, that is Kabalinka āhāra, through which he'll get the particular kind of the body. Phassa āhāra will decide how he will descend into the womb. Then Mano Sanchaitana āhāra will look at how he would experience pain and pleasure cycle, and the Vijnana āhāra is the one which makes him experience all of that. So now he has Rupa, the form of 6 sense objects which is attached to, the Vedana, which is the feeling, Sanya, the perception, along with the intellect being there. Sankhara are the mental formation or preparations. Then the Vijnana is all about identifying what this is and what that is, and feeling that I'm experiencing it. And now he calls this as I. This is me. And this is myself. So he directly gets into this cycle of existence because he identifies with it and suffers. While if you really see the body internally, there is nothing there. It's such a useless thing from inside. Not even one part of the body is worth keeping it more than an hour. And the things which come out of our body is not even good enough to keep at all. But yet we are so obsessed with our body and we don't want anything to happen to our body. So that's unfortunate, but that's what this āhāra is all about. So anything you want to discuss, and there ends this one, and we can talk about something else other than what we are speaking.
How to contemplate about this
Mano Sanchetana āhāra. So the contemplation of Mano Sanchetana āhāra is like the attraction and repulsion what you're getting. See, you have to take two things. One is that you have to take the liking for physical food and the contact. Two things. Phassa. That will create the energy required for this Mano Sanchetana āhāra. This is mentally created one. I'll give an example. Let's say I want to go and settle down in America. That is Mano Sanchetana āhāra. Okay. Why that happens is the value should be there. You have to associate a value. If there is no value, then no Mano Sanchetana āhāra will ever come into existence. You should feel something is valuable.
like a favorite food?
Anything, yes, favorite food, favorite drink, favorite dance, or whatever. There is some value, right? See, somebody likes fair skin, somebody likes dark skin, somebody likes tall person, somebody likes short person, somebody likes fat person, somebody likes lean person. Correct? That has a value. Without value, you cannot fix anything. So the same value move into consciousness. Now you are planning to have that with Nama and Rupa. So this 4 āhāra keeps on rotating.
They are actually interconnected.
They are obviously interconnected, but the first connection is with the food. If you cut that, other 3 will reduce. So,
Don't value of food, then automatically the other things get important.
yes, see the food, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, is to take it like a medicine. I am sick and I require medicine because I am having disease. The disease is hunger. So I don't have to look at the testicles or the menstrual blood and all that. I don't have to go to that. But I can all the time feel that if I was not sick, had I had to take so much of food, because I am sick, I have to eat. What is sickness? Hunger is sickness. And thirst is sickness. See, now let's say my wife was informing me yesterday, you are speaking so much, so you should drink water. Other your throat will have irritation and your speech will not be proper. She's right. And because of the disease, I can't speak much without filling myself with water or coffee or tea or whatever. That's a must. So if I really do that, it is good. What if I don't do it? Then I cannot, my vocal cord will get irritated. So I have to stop talking. That's the only way. So if I was not born like this, would I be doing all of this? No need. And because I am born, I have to face this kind of issues. That means I have to keep on eating food. So when I eat food, what happens? It causes contact. Just like the cow. There is a torture now. You expect good food, good taste, good smell, but it might not be there. So it's still a pain, pleasure and pain. And that creates a manosanchetana āhāra. So there's a more and more desire. There's valuable now because the tongue creates that value. So when you go to one restaurant and we feel very happy at a restaurant, we give a higher value. So he'll come and show us, give my rating. So we say 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, excellent. So his hotel is, so if they go to TripAdvisor or they go to some other website, then they can see that, wow, this hotel is the best recommended. So many customers will come. So what they have done, they have made sure, just like you keep a sweet and the flies will come, so you give good service and a lot of customers will come and you can charge. So what happened? You have created that value system in the manosanchetana āhāra. It creates the same impression in the vijnāna. Feeling comes that I have achieved so much. And all the four are fake. After eating, nothing is known. Then there is no contact itself. See, can you contact your stomach and say, hey, excuse me, I had fed you some time ago, why are you again asking me? What did you do with that? Have I not fed you? No. It is empty, you fill. Not able to fill, so your head will spin, or you will feel tired, or something is going to happen to you. There is no you, the body will fall down. And somebody has to put some water, or you become unconscious, your blood sugar has gone down. Did you eat or not? And you say, no, I did not eat. You stupid fellow, let me give you some saline. So hospital, they will put that saline, and after a few hours the person is back to normal. So can he ask his stomach, excuse me, I gave you such nice food, what did you do with that? No answer is given. No answer is given. And you go to toilet. You can't predict whether you will get a good toilet or you don't get it all. Or it will be smooth or it will be rough. It is going to irritate or it's not going to irritate. And how this is caused? This is caused through manosanchetana āhāra. You are so helpless. Every being, whether it's animal, human, doesn't matter. It's helplessness. So if we see this, so you can't see individually is given an example, but you have to see all of the four together. Then you will come to know what is happening. And another thing, while we are eating, we don't look at it. You bite your own skin, inner skin. Nobody can help. You are eating, the teeth comes out. Nothing you can do. or the food will go inside and root canal, nothing can be done. Or you are not able to eat at all. You are hungry. But when you put in the mouth, there is no taste. Like in the case of Corona, as an example. Nothing can be done. All of these problems are related to Mano Sanchetana āhāra, Phassa āhāra and Vijnana āhāra. So when you cut the first one, the other three will taper down. And especially Vijnana āhāra, the naming portion of it will go. So once we stop naming, the conscious layer is gone. The subconscious layer also is gone. Then the unconscious now becomes conscious. And that is blissful all the time. The other two are conditioned. This one is also conditioned. This unconscious mind is also conditioned. It is there because it is holding every condition. Now when you understand anicca, dukkha, anatta, you are going to drop off that condition. Because there is no longer any conditionality, there is release. That is Nibbana. So what he says, the difference between Hindu teaching and the Buddhist teaching is, in the Hindu teaching, the supreme consciousness is treated as Sat, which can be experienced. And then they try to find Asat. It's good, but you'll never find it. Because everything is truth only. If this is true, everything is true. What Buddha did is that he said that is conceptually correct, but it is conditioned. Any concept is conditioned. So you have to come with Asat, untrue. So Atta is untrue, Anatta is true, Dukkha is true, Sukha is untrue, Nitya is untrue, Anicca is true. Without dependency, nothing can exist. So dependence origination is true because there is Sankata, which is conditioned. Since everything is conditioned, it has to turn itself into dukkha. So the Nibbana is the only Sukha. Why? Because it's only that conscious, without name and form, without raga, dvesha, moha. Now the question comes, is that then called as supreme consciousness? And Buddha doesn't answer that. Reason being that the supreme consciousness can only be experienced after parinibbana. Because there is no coming, there is no going. So he talks of three. One, conscious, vijnana. Two, the deeper of the vijnana called as subconscious, which goes in a deeper level of experience. Then unconscious layer, where we are not at all conscious. Are we conscious anything other than our names? No. Have we seen our past life? No. Have we seen anything other than what we are? No. That is meaning of unconscious. So if somebody were to ask, in the Samannapala Sutta or in other suttas, he is spoken about you should be able to see this. Why we are not seeing? Because we are not in the conscious of that truly conscious experience. Mind still. Where are we now? We are either in one or in two. 99.99% of people are in one only, not even in two. They don't even know there's something called subconscious. So when a person does something, shouts at a person, he says that, my dear friend, after so many, I have not seen you shouting like this for years together. I never know that you get so much of anger. And this person will say, I don't know, man, from where this came. In my 15 years, I have never got so angry. And from where this anger came, even I don't know. Hey, next time be careful. You are almost going to hit him. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what came. I became so angry. That is coming from subconscious mind. Like the other day, I explained to you about my America tour, where while coming back, I think Suyog, you did not attend. You did not attend. So I was giving some examples on these 4 consciousness at that time also. So when I was coming back from America, Air India cancelled 3 flights and lot of people. So I came from Chicago. I came from another place, landed in Chicago. Flight was in the evening. I landed very early. So I was thinking I'll finish my check-in and relax. To my bad luck, I find around 500 people standing in Air India lane. And we stood from 11 a.m., 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. And line is not at all moving, with all bags, many bags, children, old people, young people. Where other counters are all empty. Lufthansa is empty, British Airways empty, that one empty, this one empty. Only Air India is full. Nobody knows why it is full, because nobody is able to answer. So all were very decent. So initially, all Indians were speaking like Americans. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, which part of the states are you from? Then after 2 hours, kahan se ho bhai? And then gali started, meaning bad words started, because somebody moved the line and one guy hit him, slapped him literally. Okay. And after that, Chicago police came and they made a line that anyone hitting anyone, nobody will fly. And at 7 p.m., that was a flight time, we came to know that 300 people have flown, 200 people will not fly. Because there is a flight, the aircraft is not there. It has got delayed somewhere. So the next flying is on next day, 11 o'clock. From Chicago. That means I landed at 11, 24 hours. No hotels, nothing was provided, because Air India said that that is not part of it. You should take care of your own accommodation. So many of us slept on the floor in Chicago airport. Okay. And the next day, and I couldn't even inform my family that I'm not coming. I didn't have any mobile SIM card of America. At that time in America, we couldn't buy that SIM card. So there's no way of communication. And then we were told that you'll fly now to Delhi. If you're interested, sit in the flight, otherwise you will not. Then we will see what after Delhi, what will we do. So my flight had a very nice journey. So landed in Delhi, Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Ahmedabad, Ahmedabad to Hyderabad, Hyderabad to Bangalore. So by the time I reached Bangalore, I had started on 18th of December. I landed at this airport on 21st of December. So no, whatever airline gave, that's all what you can eat. Okay. In the airport, go to toilet, no bathing, nothing. Right. So after this gruesome journey, I told my our Bangalore Center admin fellow, next time you book Air India, I'm going to kill you. That was the only time I flew by Air India, and that they sent it. After that, I spoke to my boss in the US. If you want me to be coming to America, ensure that I don't fly by Air India. So from then onwards, I started flying in Lufthansa or in British Airways. Only 2 flights. That's all. Because it's directly from Bangalore. Otherwise, this flight goes to Delhi or to Mumbai. So early in the morning, 2:30, you land in Mumbai, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus 1, and then go to international terminus, because this is a local flight. Then you go to international flight, and then again do all the customs and all that, and then again show your passport, visa, and all that funny thing. Here by Lufthansa or by British Airways, show once till Heathrow or Lufthansa or Frankfurt, you don't have to do anything. Now that is again a pain, right? Now you have to sit for 17 hours or whatever number of hours. So it's a pain. So Kabalinka āhāra is required. Then Phassa āhāra, and it's economy seat, right? So you sit like this 17 hours. Now it has a, it can go this much. That's all. You want to fly Bangalore, San Francisco, continuous flight, one single flight, 17 hours. So all the 4 āhāra. Now I land there, again another problem. Now I'll never find America. That's the fun part of it. When you land in America, you'll never find America. Because you're going to land in some airport, right? Where is America? So this is what Mano Sanchetana āhāra, Vijnana āhāra is all about. So when you land there, you forget all about it. So now you come out. What do you find? Road and a car. What do you find in Mumbai? Road and a car. What do you find in Nagpur? A road and a car. Okay, the American roads are different, the Indian roads are different, but what else do you find different? Except for Mano Sanchetana āhāra, which says that America is a very progressed country and India is not that progressed. Other than this idiotic way of looking, what else do I see? Nothing else. So we have to come out of that. Same thing with our jobs. There's no difference. You join this college or that college, they both are same. This college will say that college is bad. When you go to that college will say that college where you are working, that is not that good. Our college is good. And you see another fun. Every person, every company, every college, every university will say we are number 1. Who is number 2? And you see any brand, it says we are one of the leading. What it means? Mano Sanchetana āhāra. What is there to lead? Where are you leading? Nowhere. That's basically what it is. And it's coming from physical food. If you don't give food in a way which carries the 5 greed of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, then this Phassa āhāra will not have a contact with Vedana, feeling. Without that feeling, there can't be any Mano Sanchetana āhāra of enjoyment, value. And because of that, you cannot have anybody enjoying the Nama and Rupa at all. Because that is when you apply, the consciousness applies this value and makes the mind feel that the value has been received. See, like, somebody, all the actress or all the model, why they are models in the first place? Because they meet a criteria. They are tall, they are lean, they are fair, they have whatever part of the body, the way the measurement says, and they are having that. Correct? Now, Is that a Kabalinka āhāra or is it a Phassa āhāra? It is a Mano Sanchetana āhāra or a Vijnana āhāra? Which one is that? This is a quiz. Let's see what would you both respond. Yes, they are giving value to the body for sure. Yeah, so but it comes from the physical. What is missed? Can you tell me what is missed? In this whole exercise, what is missed? No. What is missed is the childhood, the infant stage is missed. Nobody is interested in that. Correct? See, first day baby, any baby, looks the same. Or first hour of the birth. Whether it is going to become a black or it is going to be fair, they all look the same. Almost. More or less. At that time, there is no hair on the head. There are no other body parts which are grown. Right? Now, is that a model? No. Is that a rich person? No. Is that a poor person? No. Is that a tall person? No. Is that a short person? Is that a lean person? Is that a fat person? Is that a woman? No. It's just an infant, not even a child. It's just 1 hour baby. In fact, if you wrap it up, you can't even make out whether it's a female or a male. Correct? Unless the mother says, hey, she's my daughter. Oh, sorry. Oh, very nice. Oh, is he son? No, it's my daughter. Oh, okay. Okay. So that is what is Kabalinka āhāra, without any value. So the Kabalinka āhāra is missed. Comes only Phassa āhāra. When the girl grows, Phassa āhāra comes. She's getting touched by sensuality. Because she is either tall or fair or lean or good dimension of the body or whatever it is. So people are asking, wow, she looks so good, why she can't join into modeling? Yeah, even I'm thinking she should join into modeling, the parents say. Or why don't she become a dancer? Yeah, she dances so well, so we want her to become a dancer. But when the infant was born, it was neither a dancer, nor it was a model, nor this, nor that. By chance, if this person comes to know this deceivability of whole of this concept, then he gets released. Because that consciousness is unconscious, which was infant. That one is unconscious. What is conscious? Whatever has been said by the society is conscious. So who takes rebirth? The unconscious. What happens to the conscious? It joins back with the new one, that's all. So the conditionality here is on all the layers of consciousness. From just the conscious to the subconscious to the unconscious. That whole thing is called Vijnana. So that's the reason he says Vijnanam Anidarsanam is the third one, which is unconscious, which is unconscious for everyone. In that there is neither tall, nor short, nor fat, nor lean, all that. Good. What else to discuss? If we don't have anything else to discuss, then we can stop for today and meet tomorrow.
One question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What is the difference between Devaloka and Brahma?
Devaloka, Brahmaloka. See, I'll tell you what. See, now you have to let go of this body. In the fourth jhana, you get that astral body. That astral body is capable of existing in a different realm of existence called Devaloka. What is Deva? Deva means one who gives. Okay. Manushya, mana in Sanskrit, it is called as yasya manaha urshati sa manushyaha, meaning one whose mind is expanded is Manushya. This is urshati in Sanskrit. Pali has an equivalent term to that. Mana ussa is Manushya. It means the same. Ussa means elevated, higher. So one mind should be higher enough to experience the reality. So when, let's say, that person is able to experience a reality in the sense, what is reality? Yatha bhuta jnana, to some extent. Without that name and form and phassa and manosanchetana. Removing that, he is able to establish himself in the third noble truth. Then that person, that Manushya, moves into the next domain or next realm of existence called a Deva, because he is doing all paramis. Paramis means associating with benefits or accruing of benefits is parami. Also it's called as paramita. So that really helps in getting through the Deva realm of existence. Now coming, Deva realm of existence is normally a Rupa realm of existence. What is Rupa? That is, four elements will have a very subtle way of existence, not the gross like this. Okay. So then we have the next realm of existence called Brahma. It's formed of two terms. Actually in Sanskrit and Pali both are same. Braham or expanded mind. Brahman, mind expanded. And that is what is Brahman actually. To be honest, there's no person or anything. The mind is so expanded that it doesn't reside in one single. It resides in everything. And that is the reason it is called as Brahman. Anyway, you leave that. So the Brahma is one whose mind has given up sensuality. There's no sensual existence anymore. So the anagami is a person who has lost both the sensual as well as ill will. Both are not there. So he becomes Brahma, or gets into Brahma Loka. Loka is the world. Just like Manushya Loka, we have Brahma Loka. So the difference between both of them, Deva has a lesser value. What they carry, value in the sense what? The paramis what they have is much lower than what the Brahmas possess. That's all.
So one day, person wants Devaloka. So can he get a Dhamma there to get liberated?
Only in the case, no, there is Dhamma will not be there. In anagami, there is no Dhamma to be said or spoken or whatever it is. From there, after the exhausting of his karma, he will enter into Parinibbana. That's all. So for everyone, you had to come back to human realm of existence and then get liberated.
Is it better to be born in a danger?
No, in the normal sense, Manushya Loka is always good because you have both. You have Sukha and Dukkha. In the Deva Loka, it is only Sukha, there is no Dukkha. In the animal realm, it's only Dukkha, there is no Sukha.
So the person is born in pain, doctor. How can he get liberated?
He has to come back as human.
So he will have to come back as if the person is born
He cannot directly enter into Brahma Loka. He has to come back as human. And if he forgets that he was a Deva, then he will be doing everything. But the Sotapanna will remain as a Sotapanna, meaning Sotapanna can be born in a Deva realm, but when he comes as a human, he will not go down. He will be born as a human.
There are no teachings.
Where? Deva Loka? No. It's only fun, enjoyment.
Then how anagami get liberated?
There is one detailed explanation about anagami thing. Maybe I'll try to get it for you. Wait. I can read that out. It is a very nice article. I had sent it to one of my person who joins. So I had wait, I will explain. Give me some 2 minutes. Okay, so there is this Shuddhavasa. It is explained in there is Diga Nikaya, I think 50. So when a Buddha is about to be born in the inhabitants of Shuddhavasa, they insert a knowledge of the sign of a great being in the Vedas. Okay, and teach this among men in the guise of Brahmins, calling such knowledge as Buddhamanta. In Sanskrit, it is called as Buddhimanta. And it comes down, as it comes down, it will get deformed into Buddhivanta. And many language in India talks about Buddhivanta, there is Buddhi Manta. Okay. Originally it is Buddhavanta or Buddhamanta. What it means is knower of the known. He knows everything. So whatever the Vedas, which is there in the Hindu or in the Brahmin or whatever you want to call them, have really come through the Shuddhavasa. So men, the people learn it and thus able to recognize the great being. Who is this great being? The Buddha. Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. 1 minute, I think I'll try to mute. Maybe you can also mute. But you are already muted. I'll just mute her. Okay. So the great being, it is MA 2761 and I think Samyukta Nikaya 2448. The inhabitants of the Shuddhavasa know how many Buddhas will be born in any particular kappa by observing the number of lotuses which spring up on the site of the Bodhi Palanka when the earth gradually emerges after destruction of the world. It is the Shuddhavasa Brahma who provides the 4 omens which leads to the Bodhisattva's renunciation in his last life. This is how Vedas come into being, which is not brought by any human. Okay, in the Vedas are called as apaurushya, that means not from human. Okay, and it is true because they are brought from the Shuddhavasa. So now the question comes, how does a person from Shuddhavasa get liberated? The Shuddhavasa person has 5 fetters which are higher fetters and they automatically go away. Now this is the step. Out of 5, Rupa Raga will go away automatically because he's in Brahma realm of existence. Arupa Raga will go away. Without Rupa Raga, there is no Arupa Raga. And then there is Udacha will go away in the last along with Avijja. What goes away is Mana. So Mana, Rupa Raga and Udacha will go away. Then only 2 remains, that is Avijja and Udacha. At the time they are supposed to end their journey, Avijja goes away and Udacha also goes away, and due to that he liberates from there. Now there are no many suttas which talks about how that whole process works. We don't know. So I don't know really how it works unless I'm able to see everything which I have not seen. So unless I reach and say, okay, here is what it looks, then I can share. Well, yesterday I was there and this is what it is, and I hope that all that works out for me and also works out for all of you so that you can experience it for yourself. What else? Nothing.
There are some channels too, that teaches astral travel.
Yeah, astral travel, they teach it separately. Yes.
There are some other techniques and meditation. Yeah.
Astral travel is there in every religion, every tradition you can do. It's no different. But what Buddha teaches is something what you can really experience. There are many people who have done astral travel.
Yes.
Many people, and you can also do it. It is a siddhi, but at this end of this life you lose that. It's of no use. So what we have to do is we have to go as per Samannapala Sutta or any other sutta. Like we took that Dvi-Vida Vitakka Sutta. That also he speaks about going into past life and this and that, which is what astral travel also helps you in identifying all of it. So people get excited about astral travel.
Yes.
Because now you can go anywhere, you can do this, you can do that. Again, the mind is attached to craving. The craving is the problem for everything, and that's the reason tanha khayo virago nirodho nibbana. Okay, that's all. So we will meet tomorrow from 8:30 to 9:30. Tomorrow we'll do jhana, and even the Sant also would come, I think so. So we can do the jhana tomorrow. Okay, good night. Namo Buddhaya. Bye.